Hello, welcome to another day in Sodom. In the last video, I explained how conservatives uh, really don't know how to take on leftists in debate. Uh, they let the leftists lay down the ground rules, dictate the terminology, and really flounder to sort of deal with leftists in this ideological war that's going on that people don't really even know that it's an ideological war, don't sort of understand the nature of the conflict they're involved in. So in this video, I'm going to lay down at least 4 principles for how conservatives should proceed in dealing with leftists and not let themselves be pushed around or manipulated in debate, which is generally what happens. I was watching a video the other night about O.J. Simpson, and the video is in, I'm not sure how many sections it's in, that I've already seen 2 or 3 parts that the video spends a lot of time relating the background of racial strife going on in America at the time O.J. Simpson committed the crime, and it was summed up very well in a cartoon in Australian newspapers at the time. We, the jury, find the black people of America not guilty, and that just about says it all. I was watching this video. They had the video. They replayed a video of the Rodney King incident, which you would think, this has been completely done to death. How much more can you say about Rodney King? I remember at the time thinking that I already knew. The statistics are well known that black people commit an enormous amount of crime in America relative to their size of the population there, and all that. But when I watched this video, I was quite shocked. I was shocked by how much at the time when I saw this video, like everybody else, I just automatically accepted the narrative that these white policemen had beaten up this black guy because they just hated black people so much, and that just seemed so obvious. And when I was watching this video, I thought, how do you get into the mind of these white cops and decide that they were just beating this guy up because he was black? I mean, firstly, he was actually a criminal. They were apprehending a miscreant, and cops do sometimes commit police brutality. They're just as likely to have performed this act against a white man as a black man. And to say that they're beating this guy up solely because he's black, I mean, we don't know that. I mean, I very much doubt this is actually true, but the background to it is just completely sort of subordinated to this sort of narrative of, well, they obviously just hate black people. Now, to just reiterate the fact that, in America, most police are white and most criminals are black. I mean, blacks make up 13% of the population, and they commit no, like 52% of the crimes. So interaction between black people and the police, positively, negatively, it doesn't matter what, any interaction between black people and police is enhanced by the fact that black people commit a commensurately far greater amount of crime than white people do. So they're going to have more interaction with white people. If white cops commit police brutality, it wasn't like they were just driving along and they saw this black guy and they just stopped the car and just started beating him up, just some guy minding his own business, and they just thought they'd drag this black guy out of the car and just start beating him up. If white cops commit police brutality, it is not unlikely it's going to be directed towards black people. And this completely gets lost in this kind of narrative of white racism. This is what I mean when I talk about how we are being manipulated by leftists in debates, and the way we think, and our entire culture is dictated by their sort of mindset. Now, it's really deeply ironical that this documentary was about O.J. Simpson, sporting hero, wonderful guy, who murdered his wife. He was black and he murdered his wife, which is to say he committed a crime, which is what black people do, way out of all proportion to the size of their population. And in the documentary, you get this focus on problems black people have with white police because they commit crime, but that kind of just goes by the wayside. And you've got to understand OJ's behavior, because he came into this culture where black people are really hit upon by white policemen and by white culture, and it just skews the whole thing with this leftist progressivist way. And this documentary is all about a black guy who murders his wife, and it's supposed to be not exactly justified, but it's supposed to be kind of mitigated in some way by the evil racism of white people. I remember back in I think it was the early 60s, and black rock and roll singer Chuck Berry went to jail. And I wasn't even a teenager yet, and I thought, I mean, rock stars and movie stars and all that didn't go to jail, but Chuck Berry was in jail. And I mean, I just couldn't process this, I mean, it was just so outlandish. And, it was a precursor to the OJ thing. I remember one statistic I heard a few years ago that fully 1/3 of young black males between the ages of 18 to 24, I think, are in jail or have been in jail or are on parole from jail. And this is just an amazing statistic. And when you consider that in America, young males of Japanese or Chinese or Jewish ancestry don't commit crime on anything like this scale. This brings me to 4 principles I've developed in how to debate with leftists and how to deal with these ideological arguments. Never apologise. Never play their game. Never accept that you were guilty until proven innocent. Never backpedal. Don't go back 1 inch. Stand your ground. Thirdly, never accept leftist sloganeering. Never accept their terminology. Always get them to explain what it is they think they mean. And fourthly, always have facts and research nailed down, because they don't know how to deal with this. They don't expect to meet this kind of opposition. Back in the 60s, when I was dealing with leftists, there was this, at least a veneer of coherent argumentation that they thought they had to come up with. But leftism has come to so dominate our culture that leftists don't really think. They don't even pretend to think anymore. They don't even bother to come out with coherent arguments. It's just sloganeering all down the line. And if you come to an argument with some facts, figures, research, data, it really does throw them into confusion. And that's one thing to keep in mind. Now,